Kyle here again today. Today I'm taking you all for a walk up a mountain, well, more a big hill than a mountain. It's just outside Newtownstewart, so I've come across the border about 25 minutes or so from home. The hill's called Bessy Bell. It's fairly distinctive and well known in the local area here as it rises from the landscape just above Newtownstewart, and it's very visible for anyone travelling from Strabane to Omagh, anybody coming from Donegal to Dublin and vice versa. It rises about 473 metres above sea level, so it's not very big, and you start a good bit of the way up as well. The walk that I'm doing today is about somewhere between 10 and 12 kilometres. It should take me a couple of hours. I'm going to take it easy, take my time, and it's all on forest track, something similar to what you can see here behind me. So it's fairly easy, no big navigation issues or anything like that. And because it's fairly easy, I've brought Rosie the dog with me today. Hopefully she can cope with the distance. She's 10 and a half now, so she's getting a little bit old, and sometimes the legs are a bit tired, a bit like myself at times. This last week or so she's been full of energy, so I've decided to risk it and bring her with me. I'll try and show you some of the landscape as I go around. Weather's pretty good today, surprisingly good, because most of the country's under a thunderstorm warning, but for some reason Donegal and the northwest managed to miss out this time. It's quite warm, there's glimpses of sun coming through the clouds, not much of a breeze. I'm probably overdressed, but sure, plenty of space in my bag to put away clothes if that happens. So time to get on. At some stage I'll stop along the way and have my lunch. I've just got a packed lunch with me, but I've brought my gas canister and a little stove with me, so I'll stop and make a cup of tea. So hope you enjoy the walk and see the sights of East Donegal and West Tyrone. Talk to you soon. About halfway up the hill here at the moment. Just behind me here there's a little burn where it flows down over the rocks and drops down into quite a deep hole. And just in the trees behind me, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but very unusual sound around these parts of a cuckoo. Making a lot of noise, very voluble. And just up there is the tower on the top of the hill, and then looking around to my left you can see out over towards the start of the main sperrins. Very moody sky today, beautiful, quite warm, meeting quite a few people out here as well walking, so good day to be out and good to see so many people out and about, including the cuckoo. about a third of the way back down from Bessy Bell. Couldn't stay at the summit. Quite busy here today. When I got to the top of the summit, there was already a family there taking photographs, just giving a bit of space, and took time to get over there myself. And I was there a couple of minutes, and then another family arrived as well. Now thankfully they did the same courtesy and gave me a bit of space as well. So yeah, so busy summit today, but I kind of had a feeling like that because the car park, or where I parked at an official car park, was quite packed. There must have been about 10 or 15 cars there. I'd say there's probably some kind of local rambling group decided to take a grip up on the hill today. Haven't seen much evidence of them yet, just one or two lone walkers, and then the two families that I've seen as well. One girl seemed to be out on a multi-day hike, quite a big bag with her, lovely black Labrador as well, who Rosie very politely said hello to for a change, because she's been a bit aggressive with dogs recently, so it was good to see her behaving herself. As you can see there behind me, she's still full of energy yet, so she's 4.5 kilometres in, and she's still fighting fit. Bessy Bell's quite a busy summit as well. There's a mast on the top of it now, which is mostly used for mobile and data communications. Back in the bad old days of the Troubles in the 80s and 90s, there was also a British Army radio mast on the top of the hill, so it used to be quite cordoned off and access was very limited. Some of the old buildings are still there, but they're obviously used now by the communications companies instead of the British Army, which is another positive side of the peace process here in Northern Ireland, because we are just across the border in Northern Ireland. Yeah, so there's an old trig pillar on the top as well. It's still got its original base plate. It's part of the original trig network of Ireland that was used to map the island of Ireland. It's now owned and operated by Ordnance Survey Northern Ireland, who are separate from Ordnance Survey Ireland, which cover the Republic of Ireland. But the trig pillars are all the same. They all follow the same nomenclature on the plates and so on. The base plate and the spider are both intact. Hearing some strange bird here in the distance. Sounds like some kind of bird of prey. Can't actually see it yet, but it'd be cool to see that. Some of the views that I've shown you already, look down over the Barnescourt Forest. You might have seen the lake in the far distance. A bit hazy here today, so it's hard to see. Barnescourt's particularly well known for its deer, and they actually supply venison to restaurants. Particularly, I've actually eaten venison from the local estate in one of the local restaurants here in Castlederg. I actually saw a few deer just after I left the car on the first approach up the path. Couldn't get the camera out in time, unfortunately, to catch them on film, but it was a nice sight to see, especially in such a busy area. Also close to the summit of Bessy Bell, there are two wind farms. They're quite distinctive, seen from the distance as you drive along the road as well as the hill. Bit controversial things, wind farms, but I don't mind them. I find them quite mesmerising to watch, and I've taken a couple of close-up photographs of them as well. And you can actually just see just there behind me, one over the trees as well. There is another one just over the top of Rosie there too. He's very impatiently waiting for me to stop talking to the camera and get a move on. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to walk on another little bit. I've 4.5 kilometres done. Another couple of kilometres, we'll go back down the path that I came up, branch off to one side onto the Ulster Way, follow that along for a while, and then maybe stop and have a bite to eat and a cup of tea. Last time I walked here was about 5 years ago. This was all nice, mature, coniferous woodland. Lovely place to walk. Since then it's obviously been all clear-felled. Very bare and barren looking, but I guess there's a working forest after all, and if it wasn't for the forestry, there wouldn't be any trails here in the first place to walk, so it'll come back. It's been planted again, so give or take another 20, 30, 40 years, it'll be back up to the level it was before. Still lovely views though, lovely spot. Last time I was through here I had my lunch. It was very peaceful in amongst the trees, even though very close to the road. I'm going to go a wee bit further today before I stop for lunch. So. Finally lunchtime. I've been just keeping walking. It's been a really nice day, and I had something small before I left the house, so I haven't been particularly hungry. So, um, what I have done different today, which I've never done on a walk before, apart from making a YouTube video, is I have brought with me a little BRS stove, one of the little tiny ones. You probably can't see that properly because it's probably the wrong way around, but it comes in a tiny little bag. Goes on to gas cylinder. This kind of day, you've seen probably loads of them on different channels on YouTube, but these are tiny and they're very inexpensive. They only cost, I think that one cost me 12 or 15 quid on Amazon. Very efficient. That's my cup, boiled cup of tea in that, and just within a few minutes. I was hardly even rested sitting down. I put the water on the boil, sorted out my bag, just got ham sandwiches with me, so I was just taking a lunchbox out of the bag, and very, very quickly it was boiling and ready to go. And it's really nice to have a cup of tea, fresh made, boiled water, just when you're out for a walk like this. For years I carried flasks with me, and the water, the time you got to stop for lunch, your tea was either horrible tasting of the flask or cold, or maybe not cold, but lukewarm and not very nice. This is lovely. This is really refreshing. I've 8 kilometers done. Excuse me, I've 8 kilometers done. I hardly feel like I've been out at all. I've been walking for 2.5 hours between stopping to take photographs and take film and everything like that. So it's been a really, really nice day. Rosie the dog has enjoyed it as well, although she's very impatient now. Every time I stop, she starts whining. She doesn't understand YouTube at all. So I'm gonna have to get her converted. Um, I'm in the actual woods now, Barnescourt Forest itself. I'm just on the edge of a fairly mature woodland. It's been nice just since I come onto the road and all the way down here. Um, the ground's a bit wet around here, so I'm probably not going to stop long for lunch because there's midges and so on starting to gather already. And amongst the trees here, there's very little wind to keep them away. Just about to come out onto an area clear fell again. That's why I decided to stop here. Just before I came here, I actually saw two deer along the track. Looked like they were two female deer. I'm not sure what age they were. I don't know enough about deer, but it was lovely to see them. Was able to stand and watch them for quite a while before they got spooked. Tried to take a couple of photographs. I don't know if they've come out very well or not. I'll put them into the video if they're anyway half decent at all. But I have a feeling that it was too far away, and the camera on my phone just couldn't cope with that. So, but it was really nice to see them. And when I got down closer to where they left the track, they were still in amongst the trees, but spooked by Rosie, but and leapt off into the trees. So I haven't seen deer in the woods for quite a number of years. So it was lovely to see them. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep drinking this cup of tea, going to eat my sandwiches, try not to get eaten by the midges, and carry on with the rest of my walk. Well, I've just over 10 kilometres done now, and unfortunately I've reached the end of the nice bit. This is the end of the forest trail. The last maybe 1.5 kilometres now is along it's a fairly rural road, but it's reasonably well used, unfortunately, so it'll be busy enough. Not the most pleasant for me or for Rosie. I mentioned earlier on in the video that I was walking along part of the Ulster Way. In this part of the country, the International Appalachian Trail overlaps with a lot of the Ulster Way, and over the last number of months, definitely since before Christmas, some of the societies have been putting in, probably the councils have been putting in new signage for the International Appalachian Trail, which is great to see. So you can see here behind me quite a good information board. There's a number of directional signs all through the forest and all along the Appalachian Trail as well. They're marked separately from the Ulster Way, but follow the same path. So if you're following the Ulster Way, you're following the International Appalachian Trail. I don't think I'm going to get any more nice footage now for the rest of the walk, so thank you for joining me, thank you for following along. If you made it this far, then fantastic. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I'm probably going to produce more videos like this, so if you are interested in seeing more of the northwest of Ireland, in particular Donegal, Tyrone, Derry, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and download the YouTube app so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. So once again, thank you for following along. From Rosie, thank you as well. See you again.